Peace, family. What's going on? Will Roundtree here. We have another episode of the Full-Time CEO podcast today with a woman-owned, minority-owned cigar lounge, Smōk Cigar Lounge, right out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, on the southwest side of town. Look, I was excited that we even got a cigar lounge on this side of town, but more importantly, it's a minority and woman-owned, so we're going to go in here, interview Chelsea, and more importantly, y'all might even learn a thing or two. Come on, let's go. You know, I hate that question when people ask me, what books are you reading, Will?
Yeah.
Because the books,
So many.
Not only that, you
That
still
part.
have to go apply what you learned in the
Yes.
book to see what works for you.
Exactly.
And so when somebody say, hey, Will, what book are you reading? Where I'm at in my life, it may not be applicable to you. So what I got out of this book may not work for you at this time because
Exactly.
you're starting from just getting your mindset right. I'm already on implementation mode. Peace, family. Will Roundtree here with another dope episode on the Full-Time CEO podcast. And we are on location at Smōk Cigar Lounge. And I'm here with my co-host.
This is Curtis Blair in the building. We had a great interview today with Miss Chelsea Hendricks, the owner and CEO co-owner with her father of Smōk Cigar Lounge here in Las Vegas.
Hell yeah, guys. Shout out to you guys. A1 Day 1, seriously.
Definitely.
Full-time CEO. Check it out later.
Let's go. Peace, family. What's going on? Will Roundtree here, and we are on another episode of the Full-Time CEO podcast, where we interview entrepreneurs, CEOs, businessmen, businesswomen, music moguls, and everything in between. And today we have another dope episode, and I'm sitting here with my co-host. What's going on, Curtis?
Hey, I'm getting pretty good with these cigars, bro. I'm looking kind of cool with this. Hey, this is Kurt, Mr. C. Blair in the building, man. Thank y'all for coming out for another episode. We are here with the beautiful Miss Chelsea Hendricks, the owner, CEO. She's a boss in her own right of Smōk Cigar Lounge here in Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing, Chelsea?
I'm fabulous. How are you guys?
Oh, I'm doing good.
We're
Dude,
doing amazing. We're doing amazing.
vibes.
Thank you for this opportunity. You are one of our own, your family now, because you allowed us to do one of our inaugural on location, on site podcast interviews in here, and we did it. We got a lot of reviews out of that and everything else like that. So thank you for that.
I'm so glad, honestly, like from day one, since you guys walked in, it was so seamless. It was like, yeah, of course.
Right.
Like, I always will support anything from startups to local to like everybody that wants to branch out and do their own thing and like
Right.
creatively and provide just education, information, insight, introspection. Like, it's what you guys are doing is epic.
No, absolutely. And it's interesting because when we first shot that episode here, I had heard there was a new cigar lounge on the southwest side of Las Vegas.
Mhm.
And it was like, it's a woman owned, minority owned. I was like, we gotta be there.
Yeah.
So I looked up the address.
Veteran owned.
Veteran owned.
Sommelier owned.
Sommelier.
Found the
Mhm.
phone number. I called, and I think you actually answered
I did
the phone.
answer. I did.
And
yeah.
I was like, hey, Will, we got a podcast. Can we shoot up there? And I think your exact words were, hell yeah.
I was like, hell yeah. That sounds about right.
Exactly.
That sounds like a pretty decent play-by-play.
Definitely,
actually.
definitely.
So we definitely appreciate you coming up, letting us allow to shoot up here that first day. But more importantly, you being on the podcast. So can you just introduce yourself? Let people know, where you come from,
Absolutely.
and how did you get into cigars?
Little backstory about you.
Absolutely. So I am a rarity for sure in a multitude of ways, but I'm born and raised in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Okay.
So that in and of itself is a very wild upbringing. You're also very much like, especially as a woman in Vegas, you're forced to grow up very aware at a very early age.
Definitely.
And I think I'm obviously very, very blessed with my parents. Like, I have a very unique situation where they're still together, more in love today than the day they got married.
That's
Just phenomenal examples across the board. And my dad is an epic girl dad, and he and I actually run this business together.
Definitely.
My mom, we try to make sure she doesn't work too hard, but obviously she is part ownership of this whole ordeal.
Right.
So it's all family owned and operated. this has been my dad's dream for 15 years.
Wow.
And getting to make it come to fruition. I mean, obviously my entire life I've seen him smoking cigars and everything. And he was always the dad that was like, if you ever want to try anything, I'll try it with you. Just let me know.
Got
It was
it.
a really good reverse psychology trick. I'm like, shit too. Cause like, I was like, I don't really feel like smoking weed with my dad, so I'm not going to smoke weed. But the cigar aspect really intrigued me. So as around like a teenager, like preteen, I was like, Dad, let me try. Let me try a hit. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to see what it's about. Like, I just want to see what the big deal. You
How'd
always
that
said, like,
episode
if I
go?
wanted to try something, just ask you.
Definitely.
So I started getting a little bit more comfortable with it. And in the Latin culture, I'm Cuban.
Mhm.
So my quinceañera was coming up and I was like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to smoke a cigar.
Right.
So I smoked a Cuban with my dad and it was everything. I kind of like, that became one of our many bonding things.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And from basically like 18 onward, I really started smoking pretty heavily with him on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
He's had this like long-standing cigar club for over a dozen years that they meet every Wednesday, have not missed a meeting.
Wow.
Like for 12 years.
That's
So
commitment.
that's dedication
That's
to
commitment
the
right
game.
there.
Definitely is.
And he always talked about like, this is my dream. This is my dream. I want to open my own cigar lounge. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. A couple years ago, it finally came to fruition. He came to me and he's like, I'm ready to do this. And I only want to do this with you and your mom.
Correct.
And I was like, all right,
That's
saddle
beautiful.
up. Let's go.
That's beautiful.
Let's go.
Cheers to that.
Yeah,
Congratulations
absolutely,
on opening it
absolutely.
up.
Cheers, gentlemen. Thank you so
No
much.
shit. So, in that endeavor, what was some of the biggest challenges getting this started?
Licensure is always like an interesting battle, but between zoning and the state and making sure you have like all of your P's and Q's and your T's crossed and your I's dotted.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day that we passed our bar and our kitchen inspection, I straight up cried, like in front of the health inspector.
Wow.
Like she was like, so you guys passed, you did great. Like, and I'm just broke down in tears and I'm just like so relieved.
Definitely.
Like, because they don't give you a rubric.
Yeah.
They don't give you like, oh, like here's a checklist of like everything you need to open a restaurant. This is all the supplies you need. No, you literally have to fucking wing it. Like, and we did. Like, I've never opened a restaurant before.
Correct.
I've worked in restaurants before, but I've never owned or operated one before. I've never designed a kitchen from scratch. And honestly, this entire building was completely designed by my parents and I.
Wow.
Completely from scratch.
Wow.
This was a dirt lot here. And we were like, well, what kind of a cigar lounge would we want to hang out at? And a lot of it came down to those decisions. My dad's vision was that window with the bar overlooking into the humidor. Right. That was always his idea. Everything else surrounding it, he's like, I got no fucking clue. So my mom and I were like, leave that to us. We'll take it from here. We're like,
put the woman's touch on it.
Yeah. I still want to smell like Baccarat when I leave here, which I do.
Okay.
So, cigars and designer perfume is always my favorite.
Definitely. Now, you said something very interesting, Chelsea. You said this has been a 15-year dream for your dad. And one of the things, because I've been working with entrepreneurs for about 15 years now, and they think it's an overnight thing. Like they have an idea and they, come up with a concept and you just dive right in. Can you talk a little bit about how, initially, whatever it is you want to do, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Doesn't.
You have to go through trials, tribulations. You may not mentally be ready to commit to whatever it is you want to go into. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that I see it, my dad had this dream, right? And it was a beautiful dream that obviously got to come to fruition. But even when we were quote unquote ready to make this happen, it took 2 years of planning.
Wow.
It took researching vendors. It took, and obviously this is a very unique situation because we're a one of one.
Yeah.
We're the first in the United States that houses a restaurant, a bar, cigars, and bar top gaming.
Wow.
First in the US. So.
Wow.
She,
That's-
she
hey,
does good. She
hey.
does good.
Hey,
What
we
they-
told
what
y'all
they-
that she the shit.
What the young kids say? Bars.
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 Baby, bars. No, like first in the U.S. to accomplish all of those things and house all in one
Definitely.
4,000 square foot building.
Wow.
All in one. And like you can eat, you can drink, and you can smoke right here at the same table. You don't have to get up and move to a different partitioned area.
And the food is good here.
Food is
ladies and
bomb.
gentlemen.
It's tapas. It's girl dinner. You know what I
There
mean?
it is. There it is.
Yeah. But ultimately, like I said, it's years of planning and execution. It's not something that like, oh, I'm going to open a restaurant today. I'm going to build it from scratch. Like,
Right.
the blueprints, the relationships that you have to cultivate. And honestly, if you had come to us 10 years prior, if come to me 5 years prior where I was deep in the middle of my cannabis career,
Mhm.
I hadn't had all of the experience yet that I needed to completely well round me enough to do this.
You're speaking some great knowledge right there.
But that's the thing. It's like all of the years of experience in different industries, meeting
Mhm.
different people from different walks of life, living in different places, all of those experiences culminated to making me the well-rounded person that I needed to be in order to execute this the way that happened.
Right. Now, speaking of that, how is it, or how did it feel, even when you were in the cannabis industry, being a woman in an industry that is dominated by men?
I have
Mhm.
found myself often in male-dominated fields. So
Right,
before
right.
cannabis, I was in healthcare. I was
Okay.
on the trajectory to be a heart surgeon.
Oh,
like
wow.
my degree is in biochemistry. So my
Wow.
whole background is in the STEM field. I was going to be a doctor. I was
Right.
a weird kid. I was like 7 years old. I'm going to be a heart surgeon. Didn't watch cartoons. Watched Mystery Diagnosis and Discovery Health Channel.
Right,
like that was my
right.
shit.
So you're a brainiac then, right?
Oh, hella. Yeah. She hella smart. She's smarter than you know.
You definitely hella
Yeah,
smart. I get
for
it.
sure.
Hell yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like different, I don't know, different experiences and everything just like culminated to what I am and who I became. And that's what ultimately made me the person that I needed to be in order to make this
Definitely.
executed.
Did you deal with challenges?
Oh, beyond. I think, and I'll say this as humbly as I can say.
No, talk your shit.
Being an attractive woman
Right.
in a male dominated field in particular is I think I've dealt with a lot of like patronization, a lot of
Right.
condescension where,
Mhm.
you know, like I've been smoking longer than you've been alive, little girl.
Oh,
like, you know,
wow.
shit like
Yeah,
that, you know,
yeah.
in the cannabis industry, in the cigar industry,
Definitely.
like, you know, it, and again, I'm from Vegas. Like
Yeah.
I have the common sense. I have the street smarts. I'm very aware of how people are talking to me and their tonality and also how they view me too.
Mhm.
And there's always ulterior motives in this city. So
Definitely.
that having that awareness in and of itself and having that wherewithal, I think always kept me a step ahead in these fields that to where I never felt like I got taken advantage of.
Right.
And the minute that I felt like something wasn't suiting me, benefiting me, I just made my exit peacefully without
Right.
burning bridges.
So how did that interaction go between those males and you coming up through the ranks in your different ventures that you've been doing?
You can ask my dad this. I will always stand up for myself and call
Beautiful.
misogynistic shit out when it happens.
Beautiful.
Like, and it'll be in funny and in lightness and as kind as I can do it.
Yes.
Because you know you got to do it with class
So you
at the
cuss
end of
them
the
out
day.
and then you say respectfully.
Right, yeah. It's all in like it's all in a tone of like, oh, okay, do you want to go ahead and finish that sentence? Like, why is that funny? Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I just find that weird. I
Right,
just find
right.
it weird.
No, definitely,
you know?
definitely.
I bet it throws them off.
It does. It
Right,
does because they
right.
don't expect it. And then it's like, oh, I have to like sit and think about my words and my
Definitely,
actions.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, something that you said that I think was important that I want the viewers to really understand, where you were like, everything you went through prepared you
100.
for this venture.
100.
And I often talk about how many times I failed and how many times I've had to start over, and I've been, I've lost everything twice, been homeless. And I talk about all of those quote unquote failures are data you need to
Mhm.
prepare you for what your true purpose or calling is, because now you learn everything of what not to do.
Exactly.
So what were some of the early lessons that you did learn that prepared you, that now you know, okay, I won't do that in this venture?
I think a lot of it I learned from how I watched other people in positions of authority treat others that were
That
in
is so
positions
important.
inferior quote unquote, to them,
That is so
entitlement.
important.
And that was the examples of like what not to do.
Right.
Healthcare broke my heart because I was sitting in a meeting with a bunch of CEOs, C-levels, executives, insurance bigwigs, and they were calling patients customers.
Wow.
And when I heard that treatment, it just made me think like, wow, like what kind of a system takes advantage of people in their worst conditions on their worst days when they're sick and never wanting to be a part of things like that.
Right.
So the minute that I would discover like, and there isn't anything that I myself can do, like as one individual person to change an entire system, I lead by example and not be a part of it.
So they made human beings a transaction.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like different instances like that in different industries that I just saw mistreatment of people where it was like, again, taking advantage of people on their worst days or when they weren't super informed. And that's also another thing that people do is take advantage of the less educated and the less informed and take advantage and jump on advantage of those situations and opportunities. That being said, when you're a leader, you need to lead by example. You never delegate things that you wouldn't do yourself.
Correct.
And your treatment of people at the end of the day, they should be treated as human beings.
Definitely. Have either of you two seen the TV series on Netflix, Painkillers?
Yes,
I've heard it. Is it good?
Yes, it's eye-opening.
Everything you're talking about now is what Painkillers was about, where it's about the Oxycontin epidemic, where it wasn't about curing the patient.
No.
It was about, hey, we need more customers to sell this Oxycontin to. We need to get more people hooked on.
And those doctors get kickbacks for that.
Oh, they definitely do. They definitely 100%. Get kickbacks. Yeah, that's the reason why they promote it in their practice. And when they're seeing a patient, they're saying, hey, we want to recommend this. They're practicing medicine, like I always say with the quote unquotes. But at the same time, they're really just giving you a medicine that they're getting a kickback for. It's a business transaction. They're keeping it, and they're basically dehumanizing people.
No, and the shit that fucked me up the most, which is when I lost it and I was like, I can't work for this system anymore, is when they were talking about referring out to specialists as repeat customer service.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that's what fucked me up. I was just like, I'm sorry, like I'm really missing the connection between the two. Like, who's the customer here? Is the patient the customer?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Like, this isn't these aren't walking wallets.
Right.
Yeah.
They're sick. We work for an emergency department. We see the worst things.
Yes.
We're in a giant metropolitan city. Are you joking? No.
Right.
So
did you just quit cold turkey?
I honestly did and completely jumped into cannabis. Completely.
Okay.
So
Wow.
this was the medical times.
Okay.
So I went straight up old G and I was like, listen, I smoke it all the time. I might as well join it. So I became
Around what age was this?
I was 21.
Okay.
I was
wow.
literally 21 on the dot. So
you expedited your growth in the medical field.
And I'm 31 right now.
Exactly.
I just look it, but yeah.
She's killing it, y'all.
Yeah.
She's killing it.
So yeah, drink water. Drink water and smoke weed every day, guys. And your cigars. But no, really, I did an 8-year stint in the cannabis industry, and
what capacity were you in the cannabis?
So I started as a bud trimmer, which is really funny,
Oh, okay.
and I actually worked my way up through a couple different companies in Washington State.
Okay.
I moved back here, and the pandemic was going on, so I actually worked for Hardin for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a small mini stint at another dispensary here, and then I worked the last 5-ish years at the Source, and I was in commercial wholesale.
Okay.
I also worked a lot with a couple different non-for-profit lobbyist groups out here to expunge criminal records.
Oh, wow.
So nonviolent criminal records have no fucking position holding weight.
Right.
I agree.
The criminal justice system is already fucked as it is.
Definitely.
Prison system is legalized slavery, but that's another topic for another time.
Just
saying. But that being said, there's a lot of people that, one, are still serving time, or two, currently holding felonious and misdemeanor criminal records just because they had a joint on them,
Right.
or they had intent to sell,
Mm-hmm.
or they got a little lippy with a cop, or they were discriminated against,
Yes.
or a combination of all of those things. That being said, if those stores are making transactions happen like El Chapo wouldn't fucking even dream of, there's no reason that nonviolent records should hold a weight on somebody's record at all.
Correct.
So I actually worked a lot to help expunge a lot of those nonviolent
Oh
records.
wow. So you've seen unjust in the medical system, the judicial system, like it's. So you was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to cigars.
Yeah. And honestly, it's been a fabulous industry ever since.
Right.
I think injustice exists everywhere because it's just kind of the world that we live in. And I'm very aware of, even though I am a woman of color, I'm very white presenting, I'm very white passing. That being said, use your privilege.
Definitely.
Use your voice.
I use my light skin all the time.
Always. I know you do, Curtis.
That's
I know you do, but the thing is, I don't think you use it well.
You don't think I use it well?
With good intentions.
Oh my goodness. Police pulled me over. What's going on, officer?
I have a sneaky
Keep on going,
feeling.
sir.
You said you're fine. Go have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Okay,
My
you're
apologies,
fine,
my
sir.
apologies.
Right.
Oh my goodness, don't let me tell the stories. But anyway, Chelsea, now
Curtis.
since you've gotten into the cigar industry, what has
Yes.
been some of the biggest challenges that you face in this industry? Especially, okay, let's say with this, with your spot as well, this lounge.
Yeah.
Some of the
I
biggest
think-
challenges.
It's obviously management. Like
Okay.
it's running a restaurant.
Yeah.
So there's little things here
When
and
you
there.
deal
It's-
with people,
yeah, exactly.
you have to know
Yeah.
people are people.
I think we're also really fortunate. One,
That
we've been open 6 months. So
Right.
like
It seems
It's-
longer than that.
Definitely
Right?
does seem longer than that. It
Thank
definitely
you.
does seem like
Thank
we're
you.
up here almost every other day.
Literally,
Right?
literally
Like,
almost
I mean,
every
we
This is
try
our
to have
second
our shit
office.
together,
This is
you
our
know?
second office in this place, people.
But in that time frame, definitely it's managing people, it's managing client expectations, it's
Mhm.
making sure things are ordered routinely, and like being like having to like be the GM here and like, you know, be my dad's right hand, like
Mhm.
inventory oversight on the bar, the food, the cigars, it's like the employee scheduling, payroll, HR, like it's a very multifaceted, and it's a lot of moving parts that every single day there's a
Right.
little bit of a different like set of to-dos that you need to accomplish in order for things to continue running.
Mhm.
Right.
And even on my days off, I don't get a day off.
Right.
Like I have to be.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
That's
That's
what it
that
is.
was going to
It's
be my next
Days
question.
off, you
yes.
don't get a day off.
Yes.
Like you are accessible, you are getting reached out, you're
Yes.
getting hit up. You have to pull open your laptop at some point.
We
in the
don't
day or
have
night.
weekends as
Nah.
entrepreneurs, business
Nah.
owners, but it's a different type of fun.
Yeah,
gratification.
It's a
exactly.
different
Yeah.
type of joy because you're really doing what you enjoy doing.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like work,
No, and like
even though we do
we
more
pick
work.
up on each other.
Yeah,
We like
yeah,
being
yeah.
my dad and I. We've got.
First of all, shout out to your dad. Not to
Thank-
cut
I
you
know,
off.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Shout out
Your dad
to
is a great
his
guy.
dad.
Dude.
One of
My
the
dad
coolest
is-
men
Yes.
I've ever met.
Yes.
He reintroduces
Dude.
himself every time. I'm like, I already know you. son.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
What-
Brad.
Yes.
He's such a Brad too.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
My dad is like the greatest.
Definitely.
I really got so fortunate. Watching him treat my mom like fucking gold
Mm.
All right.
my entire life. Like, you know, I've never seen them fight.
Wow.
Not once. My brother and I can put a fucking hand on any religious text and literally be like, they've never fought in front
That's
of us.
beautiful.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Now, tension is obviously like we can be aware of
Right.
things, the
Mhm.
handful of times in our lives that they had tension. Never said a bad word about each other to each other
Mm.
in front of us.
Wow.
That's
ever.
love right there. That's definitely
Dude.
love.
Right.
Dude, so much
They
respect.
need to start
Old
a
school.
relationship podcast.
Old
so
school.
much
The ones that's
respect.
out now are
So much
horrible.
respect.
Exactly.
Well, my mom has a master's in psychology,
Oh,
so
okay.
I think she got a little bit.
She got the
an
mojo,
upper
huh?
hand for sure.
She got the mojo for
Yeah.
your pops.
It's,
That's good.
It's set a lot of
Definitely,
standards
definitely.
for sure.
So
I
you
know that's
said
right.
at 10 p.m. you were here. That's like,
She's like, I've got a like, oh, she's got a memory like unlike any
Oh, I
other.
could only
definitely got
imagine.
that from
Beautiful.
her for
I could
sure.
only-
And she can take. Chelsea is one of those people that can take comedy very well.
I
mean,
do. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
I give my dad more props because I've been the butt of a joke for him my entire life, and
Yes.
like it's hard being a girl dad. It's even harder being a girl dad of like a girl that's pretty, that's outgoing, that's like
Yes.
you know, like in male dominated
Right.
fields
Mhm.
and grows up in Las
Right.
Vegas.
Yeah.
But some of those jokes, Chelsea,
Dude,
They
they're
are-
funny.
They're
Dude, they're
way left.
funny. They are
I felt uncomfortable with Chelsea
Dude, they're
at the comedy
so
show.
funny.
What they say? You had to clutch your pearls when you heard
Exactly.
some of those jokes.
Dude, shout
I'm
out
over
to
here
my
tapping
parents.
Will like, did you hear
He
that?
said, did he say that about her mom?
Exactly.
Did he say that about her mom? My mom is a saint, okay? My
The
mother
South
is
Point
a
was
saint.
going down at the South Point based on their jokes.
Oh my God. No, honestly, like, my dad and I we have all worked on our relationships because
That's dope.
as you grow, and like obviously he grew up in the Midwest, had very different upbringings and ideologies, and then having a very modern, very aware, very intelligent and outspoken daughter, I'm going to challenge him on a lot of his very, very stuck and stagnant ideologies.
Wow.
Yes.
So like think about being just a small town white boy from the Midwest. There's a
What
lot
part of
of
the
different-
Midwest?
Adrian, Missouri, right
Okay.
outside of Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, both
shout
of
out.
us are from the Midwest.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
I'm from
Hell
Milwaukee.
yeah.
From
Hell
Chicago.
yeah. And I lived in Indiana for like 4 years.
I was
Oh,
born in
okay.
Indianapolis, so I definitely
Fuck
understand.
yeah. I lived on the south side in Greenwood.
Hey, I know where you at. I know you
yeah,
at.
I know where you at. For sure.
Right.
But yeah, it's you challenge ideologies, and like I think we made each other better. Like obviously he kept me rooted, and I think he made me super well-rounded. We bonded on so many different things.
Right.
And like I really grew up super independent and super sure of myself and super confident
Right.
because he never made me think otherwise.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
My parents never made me think I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like, no, she can. She really can do whatever she can, whatever she wants to put her mind to.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. And one of the things that I love about this establishment, you guys remember the TV show Cheers?
Cheers.
Oh.
Yes.
Where everybody knows your
You're
name.
gonna
This is
love
it.
this.
This
Every
is it.
time I come in here, I get at least 5 hugs from everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
We
like,
all do. We
they
all
know
do. We
what
both
drink
do.
I want.
Yes.
Like it's just like the love
You're
here and
gonna
like
love this.
the hospitality. It draws me in.
It's like a
Yeah.
home away from home.
It literally is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where everybody
definitely.
knows your name.
We
Everybody
don't
knows
go
your name.
I don't even go out anymore. I come here.
I love
We
that.
definitely do.
I mean, listen, it's multifaceted. You can work from home.
Definitely.
You can have a boys' night out.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a business meeting.
Right.
Yes.
You can have a date.
And we've done all
Like-
the above.
And,
I mean,
yeah, exactly. Like, but that's actually our first day of training, right
Yeah.
before we
Wow.
opened up, was we showed an episode of Cheers. Now, Norm in
Wow.
particular, the main
Wow.
guy that everybody, when he walks in, everybody's like, Norm!
Right.
That was my grandpa's name, my dad's dad.
Mm.
So it
okay.
hits a
It
little bit at
resonates,
home
yeah.
for sure when everybody's like, Norm. But that was exactly the first thing that we did was we showed an episode of Cheers and we were like, this is what we want, guys.
That's
We
exactly
want you
what they
guys
have
to
in here.
really know these people because here's the thing. They're coming to hang out for at least
Mhm.
2 hours.
Mhm.
Easily.
At least that's going to take a minute. You're going to
Yeah.
have a couple of drinks. You're going to
Mhm.
socialize or maybe not. Know them.
Right.
Get to know them as people, know their families, know what they do for a living, remember things about them because you're going to see them on the regular.
Yes.
And when you make people feel known, when you make people feel important,
Yes.
They come back.
they come back
They
and
do.
they feel like family.
They do. So shout out to the staff.
Yes.
here
Hell
at
yeah,
Smōk.
dude.
Yes. Cheers.
Hell
Incredible
yeah.
Cheers to
staff.
them.
They
Hell yeah.
always
Cheers,
they
guys.
know at least my top 2 drinks. It's prepared as soon as I come out the humidor. They're like, "Here you go, Will." And
Yeah.
so
I love it.
it's been an amazing journey, even watching the journey of this establishment because it
Mhm.
feels like we've been a part of it since you opened.
Yes.
You guys
Obviously,
really have.
we
Like,
wasn't here
I
when you
think you
broke
were
ground.
here like within the
Couple
first
days.
month.
Yeah, couple
within-
days.
I think within the first couple of weeks that we were open
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so it definitely feels like
Thank you.
we've seen you guys grow and even how you guys give back to people who want to come here and do events and you have
Right.
the comedy show, you've done networking events and just how hospitable that you, your dad, your mom have been. I think that it also gives aspiration to other entrepreneurs as well too.
Mhm.
And you guys have been very vocal about just your journey in opening up this place. And I think that more people need to not only hear your story, but I also want them to know that it doesn't happen overnight.
It doesn't.
and
it
it's
doesn't.
not, it's always say it's easy, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's easy when it's something that you care
Right.
about.
Because you're willing to go through
because you're willing to
hurdles.
go through the hurdles.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Like you're willing to have those sleepless
Right.
nights. You're willing to put in the effort to make it all happen.
Right.
But at the end of it, it doesn't happen overnight.
But also,
Like,
I think it starts with the leadership.
I didn't
though.
get this smart because I read one book and just,
Oh.
spent one night on the internet.
leadership.
Like,
I hate that question when people ask me, what books are you reading, Will?
Yeah.
Because the books.
so many.
Well, not only that, you
That
still
part.
have to go apply what you learned in the
Yes.
book to see what works for you.
Exactly.
And so when somebody say, hey, Will, what book are you reading? Where I'm at in my life, it may not be applicable to you. So what I got out of this book may not work for you at this time because
Exactly.
you're starting from just getting your mindset right. I'm already on implementation mode.
Mhm.
And that's so important. And that's why we need these type of podcasts and these type of platforms for people to know, like, you start from different levels.
100%. No, we all start from the same level. We all start from square one. We all start from square one. There's no like, I hate the get rich quick shit because like, I'm telling you, dude, like maybe it happens overnight to TikTok stars and everything. Like
It doesn't happen overnight for them either.
Got to work on your TikTok dances, I guess.
Exactly.
I refuse to do that. I refuse.
That's one
to
thing
do.
you won't see on full-time CEO, a bunch of
Right,
TikTok dances.
Right. I don't know. I'd be down in those matching tracksuits.
Oh my
Speaking
goodness.
of,
She brought the matching tracksuits out.
I want
this was
it
not
so
planned.
This
bad.
was definitely not
this was
planned.
not
you sure?
planned.
He walked
It's
in.
so
I was just
cute.
like, there we
It's
go.
so
Look,
cute.
We twinning.
Look, so I remember in 1999 when I was still living in Milwaukee, I went to a club one night with some of my friends, and this back when LRG and Fat Farm and all of that was in. And I remember I walked into the club and somebody had on the exact same sweater as me. I took it off,
Right then?
That
and it
was
was
the
in the
vibe?
winter.
So you had
That
white
was-
tee on the rest
so
of the
was
night?
it like like,
I am
wasn't a
not
fun
looking like
situation?
somebody else in the club.
they're gonna be
You
like,
can't shop at the same mall in your people, especially
y'all
in some
come
of these
together?
cities.
Like-
No. And I didn't even know the person.
No.
I'm like, look, I'll just white tee it tonight.
We at the age now that we can't really worry about this little small
Plus,
semantics.
it's
But
our own
Yeah.
brand.
yeah, we got our own brand.
Yeah,
We got our
don't
own drink in Smōk. You guys,
Yeah.
let you know that
That
now.
part.
Can you tell me
That
about the
part.
drink, Chelsea?
oh
and how
my
that
god.
came about?
So we did a pairing seminar and it was like a coffee and rum pairing with a cigar brand as well. Our pairing seminars are super epic and lit. But the full-time CEO has this like coffee rum from Hawaii and it is just epic. It's
Yes.
like bourbon, it's the coffee rum. I think it's a little bit of like chocolate and coffee
Yeah.
bitters. Dan zhuzhes it up. Dan the
Yes.
man's
I
the
call him
mixologist.
Chef Mix-a-Lot.
Yes,
That's what I call
yes.
Dan.
Yo.
He kills it every time, man. Like the guy gave us, we
After
had a
he
small
got that fresh
conversation.
lineup too, he was
Yes.
like, he was feeling himself after that. He was feeling full-time CEO.
And he had the hat on too. We
The
labeled him
whole
and
day.
branded
There
him
we
up. We
go.
had the whole go.
Right.
I mean, it was
He
a
had
good
the whole
night, man.
thing. He had
And
the
I was
whole
making
get-up.
everybody buy it too. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, you got to
Hey, you
try
gotta
it.
try this. You gotta try this. We kept it on the menu. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to order it, you're
We
more
gonna
than welcome.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
There
when
we
you
go.
come to Smōk, ask for a full-time CEO and they'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Off menu, secret menu
It's
item.
off
You know?
Secret menu.
So we
little
got to do a
secret menu
TikTok
item.
video to let people know
Little
it's the
secret
off
menu.
menu.
So what's next for Smōk in this location or even in Vegas? Period. What are you guys thinking about? What's on the
Oh.
horizon?
Retirement.
There you go.
Retirement.
This is a place that you can feel like you're retirement because you love what you do.
That's what it is.
So that's
like,
a good thing about being in Smōk and having
this
your own
is-
business.
This is exactly what my dad wanted to do his
Yes.
entire life.
Yes.
Like his
Mm.
entire, pretty much the majority of his adult life.
Wow.
And like a good portion of mine, half of my life, like
Mhm.
all I've known is definitely him and cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is a cool legacy. This is a really cool legacy. Like I said, it's a one of one. I don't know if we want to duplicate it. I don't know if we want to
I agree
franchise
with you.
it.
Yes.
I
Like,
totally agree.
I kind of
Yes.
want to make everybody come
Yeah.
to Vegas to
I
go to
totally
the one
agree.
place where you
Yeah.
can get food, drinks, cigars, and gamble your fucking life away
Right, yes.
all in one building.
Yes.
No,
Like,
I agree.
you know what I mean? And
Right.
Vegas is about that. Vegas is about like, oh, what do you do that's different?
Yes. So
We're
what
a
can
one
we
of
do
one.
to help you on the marketing side and things of that nature? Because we're big on branding,
What's-
we're big on marketing,
What's
we're
been
big on
really
support.
cool
Okay.
is like this whole thing has been super organic. We haven't marketed much.
Yes.
Like it's been a very like obviously we're 6 months in,
Right.
but it's been all word of mouth and very organic.
Right.
Like we're very locally and residentially located.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, a lot of our people, they do come on the regular like you guys do. And that being said, we get to know them, but they spread the word to other people that live here, even across the city. And they're just like, oh, I heard about this place.
Correct.
Like I had to come check it out. Like I'm going to tell my friends about it.
Yes.
And then again, like the Dirty at 12:30, they do an offset chapter comedy night here. And those guys spread the word, and they spread the word at their Dirty at 12:30 shows every Friday night. So it's been really cool that it's been organically word of mouth, which is what I like about the cigar industry in and of itself. When you look around here, like people are talking to each other.
That is very true.
You know what I mean?
That
you
is
see the
very
people
true.
working,
Yeah.
but you see people talking to each other, looking at each other in the eye. They're not really like on their phones.
Yes.
And I love that about this. This is an icebreaker. This is a connector.
Yeah.
You know, this is something, this is a conversation piece. This is a bonding moment. This is a stop and smell the roses moment.
Definitely. So can you talk a little bit about even just, you know, when you're going overseas and being able to try cigars from all across the world?
Oh,
because they get different types of tobacco and cigars than we can get here in the States. So can you just talk about,
absolutely,
you know, just your journeys and being able to do a lot of that?
So I had my most recent trip I can talk about for sure. I just went to Nicaragua in January. Right. So great way to start off the new year, right? Did a week-long cigar festival called Puro Sabor. So pure flavor is what the name of the festival. It's like 11 years running now. And I'm actually smoking the Padron 45th anniversary from Puro Sabor. So shout out to you guys.
I need to go overseas because I don't know how to pronounce any of the stuff.
She's Latin, though. She has that Latin background, so she has the.
She got a little spice.
She got the little spice. She's not 100% white lady.
Yeah, exactly. Like
she got a little soul to it. This girl got some soul to it. I'm gonna let y'all know.
She got a little soul, like again, like white passing Monopoly. Yeah. Monopoly.
The police gonna let her go too, though.
Yeah, no, they will. They always do. They always do. Absolutely. This face gets away with a lot. So, but yeah, Puro Sabor was a week-long cigar festival where they took you 5 days straight of nothing but cigar tours from field to factory. Oh, wow. So I got to tour Oliva, Plasencia, my father, Villager, Drew Estates, all of the biggest names in the cigar industry that have a footing in Nicaragua itself. Wow. And they gave us 3-hour-long from field to factory in-depth assessments and tours of how they do the entire, like, years-long processes and hundreds of hands just to make this one cigar. Wow. Just this one cigar. Hundreds of hands have touched this over years to make and cultivate this. And then the fields themselves. One, Nicaragua is amazing because it's the land of lakes and volcanoes.
Right.
So the soil,
man, you making me want to go to Nicaragua.
Super nutrient dense. It's black. The soil is black, and with the beautiful bright green of the tobacco leaves, you learn so much too. It's super educational, but also all of the food, all of the drinks, all you can smoke, literally unlimited everything for a week long. Hotel included. You just got to get there. And if you got points, baby,
we got those.
That's it. That shit's
we're going.
We got the points.
Unlock. And that's a tax write-off. You know, it's a work trip.
Hold on. So you're giving a lot of game right now. You said it's the tax write-off. You got to get the points on your credit cards.
Exactly.
Like, come on, Chelsea. What are you doing to these people? You're teaching them full-time CEO what we teach on a regular basis here at We Management as well. So, like, I mean,
I'll give a little bit.
You're a testimony for real. You're definitely testimony.
I'll give a little bit.
But being a woman, and all our women entrepreneurs, viewers, we get a lot of women that come to us on a regular basis. Sometimes even more than our men. Definitely. But at the same time, this interview is very special to us because we work with a lot of women. We want to empower women. We want to make sure that we're supporting them in that capacity for their entrepreneur endeavors. So give us a little bit of game of how you as a woman have tackled some of these hurdles and obstacles in your path.
I have never let being a woman
define you.
Yeah, it's obviously a defining thing. You know, I've never but I've also never hindered my femininity from that. So like I fully embrace my femininity. I still get my nails done. Like I love wearing jewelry. Like I love dressing.
You come
up.
in fly, yeah. All the
Always,
time.
always
Right.
like this is casual for me. You know
And you
what I
always
mean?
smell,
Like,
and you
yeah.
always smell good.
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh,
She caught me with the baccarat on one day.
Again,
She
designer,
was like, "Hey,
designer and cigars is my favorite combination.
So that's
It
the
really
way to
is.
your heart is basically what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, I'm a bougie girl. Listen,
No
I'm
Cheesecake
also
Factory?
hella no Cheesecake Factory.
Ah,
Sushi minimum.
Sushi minimum, okay.
What about
okay?
lunch at Smōk?
Ooh, that's that's just a good time.
There you
tapas,
go.
That's
tapas.
a good start to a conversation.
Okay.
That's a good
You
start
see how
to
the
a
voice changed, ladies and
conversation.
gentlemen. Willed and wooed her
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah. He's like, okay, we'll reel it in. We'll reel it in. But yeah, no, being a woman, in just obviously always been in male dominated fields, but that has never been something that's like, okay, and like I'm working just as hard. I am just as smart,
Definitely.
if not smarter. And I can do it in heels with my nails done. Like, what the fuck of it?
Does it
Right.
affect? Does
You
it
know what I
affect your
mean?
personal
It
life?
doesn't affect my well.
Do
I've
guys get
emasculated- yes.
do guys get intimidated?
So I am single.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I by choice for sure. But
Y'all know where to find her at in Vegas.
Yeah, for
But you gotta have designer perfume
And
know
get your
your
sushi.
cigars.
And get your sushi game up.
Right, I'm saying for you.
Okay,
And you gotta
wear
know your
designer.
cigars.
Yeah.
Look, if you coming in here with the gas station cigar, you have no chance.
Oh, put the black and milds away.
Oh, not the black and
away.
white.
Put the black and milds away. I swear. No, like I'm pretty low key. Like I was showing you guys how I just hiked a mountain over the weekend
Yes,
too.
you
So
did.
like get you a girl that can do both, obviously.
Yeah, you got to have the balance though. She
yeah,
definitely
no,
does have the
that's
balance.
the
She's
thing.
well rounded.
I think that's the thing. You balance your duality. You balance your masculinity with your femininity. I have a lot of feminine aspects, but I have a lot of masculine aspects too. Like I'm hella outdoorsy. I love smoking cigars.
Yeah.
I love drinking whiskey and a slew of other libations. Like I love a bunch of different. I love watching sports. You know, you balance the duality, and you don't negate or neglect any aspect of who you are, and you stay true to that, and you honestly fucking question authority.
That's so
you are
important.
spitting some game
you
today.
have to be yourself.
You
Yes,
have to
you
be
do.
yourself.
You
Yes, you
have
do.
to. 'Cause
Unapologetically
you
yourself.
have to, because I see so many people, whether it's for a relationship, for a friendship, for whatever the scenario is,
Compromise is
they
bullshit.
compromise who they are.
Compromise is fucking bullshit.
And
Yeah,
I will
I agree.
never
Biggest
put
lie
myself in
ever.
that position.
Accept me for who I am.
Yeah.
I will never
You
put
were
myself
you
in
were
that
always
position.
capable of bettering yourself and improving yourself,
Yeah.
but at your core, you shouldn't change who you
Ever.
are.
No, at
Ever.
all.
Like you just need to be the best version of yourself, and it's you versus you every day.
Exactly.
And progress is always going to be progress, even if it's just 1 fucking percent.
Right.
That's still moving the bar forward.
She on here
Yes.
giving a master class. For
Man.
real. So Chelsea, someone who is new to this cigar world, because I just started smoking probably about 3 years ago.
Hell yeah.
I had a friend who said, "Hey, let's go smoke some cigars." I didn't know much about cigars, and what's so ironic, I actually found a Cuban in my office that
Hell
somebody
yeah.
gave me like 5 years ago.
Did it?
I didn't even know what it was.
You didn't keep it humidified?
It was a Cohiba.
Perfect.
And I didn't smoke it. I didn't know what it was because I knew nothing about cigars about 5 years ago. But, coming here, it's opened up my palate so much, and learning how to pair and what goes with what and et cetera, and the flavors and this and that. So what would be a good starting point for someone who knows very little about cigars? Is there like a place to start? Mild, bold?
There are.
Definitely
It's
mild.
always
definitely
mild.
mild.
Like
it's like smoking weed. when you
Exactly.
have a cigar.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll put you on
don't
your
swallow.
ass if you-
Don't
Right,
swallow.
right.
That's the one.
That's the
one
best
thing.
that's thing. That's the
difference.
first thing.
You
Don't
can
swallow.
You can swallow cannabis. Smoke
Don't
for
inhale
sure.
that joker.
You do not inhale cigars.
your
Hey,
cigar
I'm gonna tell you
smoke.
a small story. When I was the first time I was
Did you
trying to
grow
impress,
up?
huh? I grew up in one night. Back I was living in Indianapolis for a short stint. I went out and with some of my OGs, they were like, "Come meet us at the cigar bar." I didn't know anything about cigars.
Right.
Got there. He got me one of those bold ones. I was smoking it, inhaling. He was like, "Hold on, young buck." I was like, "Man, I know what I'm doing." I didn't know not a thing about what I was doing.
Said I know what I'm doing. Don't worry.
Look, I got home. There's a gap between my garage and my house, yo. I was walking. I literally passed out in the yard. I hit the ground. That's what woke me up. I'm dead
He said
serious.
out.
I'm dead serious. I
He
fell
said
out. It's that
out.
cigars can be that
Yo.
strong, ladies and
They
gentlemen.
really can.
They
They really can.
And I literally
potent.
passed out and I woke up. I had to carry myself back into the house. It was probably about 30 degrees in Indianapolis, snow on the ground.
Yep.
But I woke up on my
Full
couch
frost.
and living. Yeah, I woke up. I was like, oh my God, I'm never doing that again. I had to start researching cigars. I had to. But that's my one cigar
Yeah.
initiation.
How old were you?
I was probably like 26, 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were still in
I
your weed smoking days.
yeah,
So
that
you
was
thought
when
it
my weed, my black and mild
Right.
days. So yeah. Hey, I'm just being honest, though. So I mean,
We've all been there.
yeah, I bumped
We've
my
all
head.
been there.
I bumped my head. I learned my
judgment.
lesson.
Right.
And
Literally
so-
bumped your head.
Yeah, literally bumped my head. That
Right,
stuff will
right.
get you lightheaded, and you will.
It will.
It will pass. You will pass
So,
out. Yep.
What a lot of people don't know is this is about 200 to 300 times more nicotine than one cigarette.
Wow.
So, like,
No
one
joke.
cigar. Yeah, no.
Don't
it's-
inhale.
Yeah, do
For
not
real.
inhale for sure. So, in starting out, I would say you'd want. It depends on what kind of a person you are. There's two ways to go about it. You can go the infused route where there's like herbal cigars, like the small axe that's very like floral, very earthy, almost kind of perfumey. There's the flavored, I don't want to say flavored, but it's infused with like food oils essentially. So you've got your coffee ones, you've got your vanilla, your cinnamon, your honey, your chocolate. There's the Drew Estates has a really fabulous line of acids, tobacs.
Can you explain a little bit of that? Acid to box?
Yeah, so those are all sweets.
Okay.
The tobacs are coffee in particular. They've got like one that's like coffee with cream and sugar, and one that's like black coffee with sugar.
Those do taste good.
They
Ladies.
do
They
taste
do.
good.
do
So
taste
like
good.
you can start that way and kind of work your way up into your
Big
traditional, exactly,
Yeah.
tobacco ones and get you on your bougie old man game. Or if you don't want the flavoring of it, you can go the natural way and start with your Connecticut's.
Right.
Romeo and Julieta
The
makes
Connecticut's are more like
they're
creamy,
super
just smooth,
creamy, super
mild.
smooth, no spice, no pepper, like great intro. You're not going to feel super lightheaded.
Right.
You're using very, very light tobacco.
Right.
So very, very smooth, very easy.
But
Romeo and
Cubans
Julieta,
aren't the end all be all when it comes to
No,
cigars,
they're
is it?
not. And honestly, like
lot of people think
Nicaragua
that.
and the Dominican Republic are neck and neck in topping the cigar industry right now for best tobacco produced around the world.
So
right
DR
now.
got some nice cigars.
Dude.
Shout out to my
Dude.
God B. I ain't gonna say his name, but you know,
Right.
you know what it is, B.
He told you to put them things
Yeah.
away.
Exactly.
Yeah. You start going to Central and South America,
Yeah.
it is good
Definitely,
tocado.
definitely.
You get closer to the
Because
equator,
that's where
it
they
gets
grow it
hotter.
at. That's where they grow.
Yeah,
everywhere.
exactly.
Definitely.
Just naturally, just like
Right.
honestly, like weeds. And it's again, I definitely implore you guys to take a trip, do Puro Sabor or the Dominican Republic one is
Okay.
Pro Cigar.
Right.
That one's bougie as fuck. You'll love that
We're
one.
going to have to get a translator for this episode because
I
she's
am the
killing.
translator.
She is the
I am
translator.
the
I'm sorry.
translator. I am the translator.
So tell us a little bit about like cigar pairings
Ooh.
and how it pairs with certain types of liquor and different things like that. Because
Mhm.
I mean, I'm a tequila drinker,
Mhm.
and so sometimes people may be like cigar and a tequila. So is there
Bourbon,
like
things of that nature.
kind of like a a preference? Is it law of that you do this with this? Like how does that work?
I think everybody assumes when you think of a cigar pairing, you think whiskey or bourbon.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And I think
Immediately.
that's just like the go-to jump, which it is natural because if you think of the nuanced flavors in a traditional cigar profile, any run-of-the-mill cigar, you're going to get a lot of dark cocoa,
Right.
a lot of molasses, a lot of black and white pepper and cayenne pepper, coffee flavors. So you get those really like rich, bold, savory kind of flavors on your
Right.
palate. What pairs well with that is those smoky, rich, nuanced flavors in a bourbon and whiskey.
Right.
That being said, my personal favorite, black coffee. It's my personal favorite pairing.
Right.
My AGM Casey, she's a certified cigar sommelier. her favorite is champagne.
Oh, wow.
okay.
She likes her bubbles with
Oh,
her
wow.
cigars,
Okay.
and that is her favorite pairing. And it's nice because the carbonation as well as the lightness of the fruitiness sometimes pulls out the fruity notes in cigars. You
Wow.
get stone fruit, you get
Yeah.
pomegranates,
Wow.
you get blueberries, you get cherry pie that's been
We may have to
baked.
charge for this episode.
Man, definitely,
People are
bro.
learning way too
We're gonna put this
much.
on OnlyFans. DA, we're gonna get us an OnlyFans account for the podcast now, G. We charge for this. This is a master class on infused cigars with the champagne, with the pinky in the air. We're
For
gonna-
the pink, we
like-
getting you on your bougie old man.
yeah, we're gonna be bougie to hell right now.
Hell yeah.
Light-skinned bougie
Hell
motherfucker.
yeah. Absolutely.
I mean,
pinky ring it.
I'm
Pinky ring
dark
it.
caramel.
Hey, Will.
Yes.
Hey, man, it's all love. It's a melting pot.
It is.
See, she's
Right,
mixed.
right.
She's like, she's killing. Man, I can't even say anything else, man. This is a great episode, ladies and gentlemen. I'm appreciating
yeah.
Chelsea up in here. She is really family now. She's been family for us for like the last few probably months.
Yeah.
Around the time that they
Yeah.
opened.
Yeah.
You showed us so much love and so much energy, and we definitely, me, Will and I, we've showered the whole staff with gear, gave them all books, but also
We all
we're
wear
trying
it.
to-
I wear full-time CEO to the gym every morning.
Oh, wow.
oh really?
That's
You
my
gotta take
workout
a
hoodie.
picture so
Yeah.
we can
I gotta.
post it.
I'll post
Yeah,
it.
we
That's
gotta
my
take-
workout
we
hoodie.
got some more styles coming out too that we're gonna be bringing
I
rolling
need
out.
that
So
tracksuit.
yeah, we got you in the
that
pink.
tracksuit.
Yeah, we got you in the pink, but I
Yeah.
mean, definitely, there's been a lot of knowledge that's been given around. I want to just say thank you for the opportunity for us to sit down with you. Like we can do probably 5 or 6 episodes.
I'm honestly open anytime.
Tell us about tell us about some of the events that you can come out with about learning about cigars, learning
Hell
about
yeah.
the different things that go on with cigars and everything else like that for men, women. They have comedy shows, comedy
Mhm.
specials, networking events up here. Tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about that.
So, really, really good segue. Coming up on the 16th will be our 6th pairing seminar since we've opened. We've done
Congratulations.
once a month ever since we
Right.
opened up, just to kind of test and see. It was always something that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
My dad and I were really passionate about like education, but also kind of like, ooh, what's a really fun way to get people together to like smoke cigars together and enjoy like good rum, good whiskey,
Right.
good
Mhm.
tequila, whatever.
Right.
So on the 16th, we do about like midway Tuesdays in the evening, halfway through the month. We do a 3-hour pairing seminar. There's a cigar vendor involved and a alcohol vendor involved.
Wow.
The last one we did was coffee, rum, and cigars. And
Okay.
we actually introduced Beans and Brews, who just opened up, as a collaborative
Oh,
little
wow.
pairing
Wow.
seminar.
With the coffee
So
and
we
everything.
did their coffee. We
That's
made drinks with their coffee,
Okay.
and we also did a pairing with them. We did a pairing with the Kaloa rum, and then we did a pairing with La Aurora cigars and taught
Mhm.
everybody how to do the cigar aficionado rating scale from 1 to 100.
Right.
So very educational in and of
Definitely.
itself. The one coming up this month is Flor de Caña rum,
Mhm.
which is our first rum pairing. My
Okay.
dad's
Okay.
very excited about that. He's
I
a
know.
rum guy.
Okay.
And Oliva cigars, which Oliva is bar none one of the top brands in this
Okay.
industry. Their Milanio series is absolutely deliciousness and a go-to for everybody that's a little medium plus smoker like myself.
Right.
They are beyond stout, beyond flavorful. It's a great smoke every time, great construction on the cigar every time too. So they'll be doing a little informational on their cigars. We'll be doing deals and specials on the cigars as well. We do giveaways. We do raffle prizes. We do gift bags for everybody that's in attendance. We do a food pairing. And then Flor de Caña will be taking us through a tasting of 4 different rum selections.
What's the date of that?
That's the 16th of April. It's a Tuesday night from 5 to 8. And it's on the website.
There it is. What's your website?
SmōkCigarLounge.com.
Smoke without an E, though.
Smoke
right?
without an E.
You gotta remember that.
Smoke
It is
without the
smoke
E.
without the E.
Hell yeah.
And where can they find you at on social media?
Smoke Cigar Lounge LV. Smoke without the E again.
You know, social media is everybody's website
Yeah.
nowadays. G, so
Mine's Miss_Chelsea_Adriana. That's it.
You know they're gonna be in your DMs now because you just told everybody.
That's okay. That's okay. The DMs are open. The
DMs are open.
The DMs are open.
Okay.
Because she know how to say no politely.
I do
and
know how to say no
respectfully,
politely and respectfully. I
And
do
you
know,
can't
I
get
do
taken
know
to
how to turn
cheesecake.
people down. Like,
And you
it's-
can't take it to cheesecake, so you got to at
Don't
least
take me to
do
Cheesecake
some
Factory.
sushi.
Nah, listen, I bring
We
the
giving y'all the
table, so you got to do the same.
Oh, yeah, because she got plenty of tables in here, fellas. So just know.
Double the amount I mean? I can't.
Definitely. Well, Chelsea, we wholeheartedly appreciate this episode.
Definitely.
Not only has it been informational, but I think it's inspiring for people, not just women, but anyone of all walks of life who have some aspirations of going and chasing after whatever they feel their purpose or dream is. You just saying that this was a 15-year dream for your dad and how you all came together. And I would assume this even brought you even closer together.
It definitely
now
did.
You all are doing something that is within the family's purpose and
Yeah.
legacy and all of the stuff that a lot of people aspire on, but so many people are scared to go after it. So what would be some parting words you would leave for someone who is looking for that inspiration to
Spark,
not only just go after what they want, but to be themselves in that process? Because I think a lot of the times people try to be what other people want them to be. So what would you leave the people with?
I think the things that we find the most inspirational throughout history has been when people have gone against the grain and, you know, acted on their passions. And fear is such a hindering mindset in and of itself. Stop being afraid of being yourself. Everybody is trying so hard to conform and to look the same, to act the same. You know what I mean? Just like accept the weirdness that you have, accept the unique traits that you have, accept the beautiful things that generations of people fell in love with to make you who you are today. And own that shit.
Definitely.
Like own you and stop letting fear being the end all be all. Like, I don't know about that. Like, just fucking go for it.
No.
Life's way too fucking short.
100%.
This life in particular, we picked this. Like, it's way too short. Fulfill your purpose. And when you live in your passions, you fulfill your purpose.
1,000%.
Amen.
And I literally just put on my social media that it takes strength to be different.
It does.
It takes strength. And you know how strong I had to be to dress like Curtis today? Like, it took a lot of strength for me to sit on this podcast and be twins.
I was trying not to think about this. This is the second time they done brought it up, bro. Oh my god! It's
only because I'm not in a tracksuit.
I'm about to take my jacket off.
If I was in a tracksuit, it would be fine.
I'm about to take my jacket off. I'm going home.
You know what?
Hey, shut it down, man. What's over?
If I was in a tracksuit and we didn't mention it, it would be even funnier.
Facts.
Honestly, like if it was
We definitely
nobody
put you in the
mentioned it, they're
paper.
like, why are they all wearing the same shit though? You know what I mean?
Definitely. But those are definitely words that I know I live by. I know my Curtis, my team, because that's what we preach. And we have to get to the point where you're okay being you.
You gotta be.
You have to be okay being you.
You gotta own that shit. Own your weird ass.
Literally.
Because, dude, just say the weird thing. People are seeking realness so desperately right now. We're in the age of misinformation.
Definitely.
Like, be real.
Yeah.
And like, real recognizes real. That's why it's been so effortless from day one with you guys, is because I'm real, you guys are real, and real recognizes real.
Definitely.
Let's go. She got a quote. She got a quote playlist too.
Every time we come in here,
her playlist. This playlist is second to none.
The throwback jams is everything.
I know every time we come in here, I know people are like, who are those guys in those full-time CEO outfits all the time?
Yeah. And we got a drink on the menu. And we got a locker. Oh, we got a locker too.
CEO? What do you mean you don't know?
We got our locker here.
Yes, we got our locker.
We did that day one.
Day one.
Day one. The first day we came in here, we got the locker. We've been locked in ever since.
Yes.
Here at Smōk without the E
Without
in Las Vegas, Nevada. Look, if you come to, first of all, you should come to Las Vegas just to come here.
Yes.
It's a vibe.
It is off the strip,
Vibe.
which I tell everybody, if you come to Vegas to visit, you have to experience off the strip.
You got to take 2 or 3 trips to Vegas though to really get the experience. You can't just come and say, "Hey, I was on the strip in X, Y, and Z." No, you got to be able to.
You do like a day
venture
on
out.
the strip.
Yes.
You do a day out in nature in the desert, like the Red Rocks or the river.
She want everybody to go hiking.
You hit the local.
I'm gonna make everybody.
She gonna make everybody go hiking.
Make everybody go hiking with my ass for sure. Yeah, you gotta hike too. That's the other thing. You gotta like the outdoors.
Oh, you just done X'd about
Before you-
80% of
before
the
you
men
slide
out.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
DMs, like-
You X'd 80% of
yeah,
the men
before you
out.
slide into DMs, I like moving water in mountains. So
Well, you didn't cut this list short now.
good. I have high standards.
Exactly.
Good.
Go for what you want, though. That's what
Yeah,
you're supposed to
exactly.
do. Definitely.
Exactly.
So they can find you online,
Mhm.
social media. We definitely appreciate you.
I
Curtis,
appreciate
how
you
can
guys.
they find you?
You can call me on
You
Instagram.
said
and
call me.
Dang, I did say call me. Then
You did. Thirsty.
call me.
You got him a
Thirsty.
straw.
You can find
It's
me
the
on.
cigar.
You can
He
find me
inhaled.
on
He
all
was
social media
inhaling while he was
platforms
on
at
this
Mr. C
episode.
Blair or C Blair and Associates, which is the company and business website. Instagram. But Will, you already know what it is, man. We are here every day.
Literally.
Every other day, working on
Literally.
people and helping them empower them to grow their businesses and helping them fund real estate, figure out what to do with the money. We don't do plays over here. We do concepts, ideas, and strategies, and what's real life applicable to your life. So, I mean, every day that's what we're hustling and bustling to do. Make sure that you have your life insurance together, your personal insurance together. Please get that together because we're not burying people. We have to make sure that we're leaving a legacy to our next generations from here on out.
Research different areas because also different areas within your city will have different insurance policies.
Oh,
See,
definitely.
that's
Fun
more
fact.
free game.
Fun fact.
How the
That's
heck
more
you know? What? You're too
I
smart
mean,
for your
she
own
is a
good.
scholar.
She is half a medical professional
Right,
too.
She is a scholar.
I am a scholar.
Definitely.
A gentleman and a scholar.
And you already know how to find me. I am at Mr. Will Roundtree across all social media platforms. Make sure you like, comment, follow, share, and more importantly, y'all already know the drill. I'll see y'all at the top. Let's go.